Welcome to our deep dive on, well, kind of feels like the future of everything, doesn't it? We're diving into AI, and not just like the theoretical stuff. We're talking about AI that's winning Nobel Prizes, creating art, and and get this, maybe even attending meetings in our place. So buckle up. We're covering a lot of ground today, starting with, well, Zoom. They're working on AI avatars. Yeah, you heard that right. Imagine sending your digital twin to that budget meeting while you, I don't know, catch up on some emails. And it's not just about looking like you. These avatars are supposed to sound like you too. Someone even described the experience of interacting with one as being deep in the uncanny valley, like almost too real.
Yeah, and that's where it gets interesting, right? Like, what does that even mean for the future of work? If you're not actually present, are you really there? And who owns those avatars, especially in a work setting? Like, if you create one for your job and then you switch companies, what happens to it?
And imagine if everyone starts using them. Do we even need offices anymore? It's like we're stepping into some kind of sci-fi movie, but this is real life happening right now. Speaking of blurring the lines between reality and the digital world, we got to talk about AI image generation. This tech is evolving so fast it'll make your head spin. Google just made Imagen 3, which is their super powerful image generation tool available to anyone using Gemini. Now, there's a free version, sure, but the paid version, it can generate crazy realistic images of people. And that's a big deal because before, AI really struggled with human faces. Now it's getting harder to tell the difference between a real photo and one that came from an algorithm.
And that's what makes this so fascinating, but also a little unnerving. I mean, think about the implications. Businesses could create entire ad campaigns without ever hiring a photographer or a model. The possibilities are kind of mind-blowing.
But of course, there's a flip side. What about things like deepfakes? AI that can generate realistic images is powerful, sure, but it could also be misused. Which brings me to Adobe. They're jumping into the ring with tools specifically designed to help artists prove that their work is human-made. It's all about preventing artwork from being used in AI training data sets without the artist's consent.
Yeah, this whole issue of AI and copyright is huge. Should artists have a say in how their work gets used to train AI, especially if those AI models could potentially, make human-created art less valuable?
Right, like will we get to a point where people are willing to pay a premium for something handmade, something with that human touch? It's a question that we're going to keep coming back to throughout this deep dive, so keep that in mind as we move on to some other big developments. So before we went to those ads, we were getting deep into AI and art and all the questions that come with it. But you know what else AI is shaking up? The world of science. Big time, actually. I mean, we're talking Nobel Prize big. The Nobel Prize in Chemistry was just awarded to the folks behind AlphaFold, this AI system that can predict the 3D structure of proteins.
And that's huge. Like, we're talking potentially revolutionizing like everything from drug discovery to how we understand diseases.
I was reading about this, and it used to take scientists years to figure out the structure of just one protein. Now AI is doing it, what, in a fraction of the time?
Exactly. It's like having, I don't know, a super-powered lab partner that can analyze massive data sets of information. We're talking about breakthroughs we haven't even begun to imagine, all because AI can process information on a scale that we can't even comprehend.
Okay, so that's AI doing amazing things in the world of science. But let's talk about another big player in the AI game, Meta. They're making some bold moves when it comes to AI assistants. We're talking like Siri or Alexa, but Meta wants their AI to be the go-to for everything.
It's a power play for sure, and I think it really highlights how important AI assistants are becoming in our daily lives.
Right? It makes you wonder about all the data these companies are collecting. Like, Meta's been asking Oculus users for their date of birth. I mean, at first you think, okay, age verification makes sense.
Sure, but then you start to think about the bigger picture, like what if they're building even more personalized AI experiences within the metaverse?
And that's where it gets really interesting, right? Okay, so we've got these huge tech companies pushing the boundaries of what AI can do. But what does it all mean for everyday people? Like, let's talk about jobs. Are robots coming for our paychecks? That's the question I hear a lot.
And it's a valid concern. But I think it's important to remember that technology has always disrupted the job market.
Yeah, like, think about photography. Digital cameras and Photoshop definitely changed the game, but they didn't kill the profession.
Exactly. So the question isn't whether AI will replace jobs, but how we can adapt and thrive in this new landscape.
So what's the secret? What skills do people need if they want to be successful in a world where AI is everywhere?
Well, creativity is going to be more important than ever. AI can generate images and write poems, but it can't replicate genuine human ingenuity.
So problem solving, critical thinking, those are all going to be key.
Absolutely. And let's not forget emotional intelligence. Those uniquely human skills that, at least for now, AI just can't replicate.
So it's not humans versus machines, but finding ways to work together, right?
Exactly. The future belongs to those who can harness the power of AI while also leveraging their own unique strengths.
Yeah. Well said. Okay, so we've covered AI in science, AI in the workplace, but let's shift gears a bit and talk about another area where AI could have a huge impact: healthcare. So we were in the middle of talking about AI in healthcare, which, let's be honest, feels like something straight out of Star Trek, doesn't it?
Right. But it's not just about treating diseases, it's about predicting them before they even happen. Imagine AI analyzing your medical history, your genes, even your lifestyle to be like, hey, watch out for this.
That's wild. It's like having a crystal ball for your health, except it's powered by data instead of, magic.
Exactly. And it's not just prevention. We're already seeing AI-powered robots assisting with surgery, which is, well, kind of mind-blowing.
It is. But I always wonder about accessibility with this kind of cutting-edge tech. Like, will it be available to everyone or just a select few?
That's the million-dollar question, right? But AI could also make healthcare more accessible. Imagine a world where AI diagnostic tools are used in remote communities, places that don't have easy access to specialists.
All right, that would be huge. So instead of replacing doctors, AI could actually help them reach more people. So we've talked about AI in art, AI in science, AI in the workplace, even AI in healthcare. It's a lot to process, right?
It really is. And I think the key takeaway here is that AI is a tool. Like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
So what we do with it matters.
Exactly. The future of AI isn't some predetermined thing. It's something we're all creating right now.
So being informed, asking questions, maybe even a little bit of healthy skepticism, that's all part of the process.
Absolutely. The more we understand AI, the better equipped we'll be to use it to build the kind of future we actually want.
So true. Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive into the world of AI. A huge thank you to everyone for listening and for, joining us on this journey as we try to make sense of this incredible technology and its impact on all of our lives. Keep those questions coming, keep exploring, and we'll catch you next time for another deep dive.